Victor never dreamed his mother would be the one to pick his future wife, yet that's exactly how it went down. It started when Mom invited him to one of those friendly Sunday lunches that in his family usually doubled as undercover interrogations. Waiting at the table was Natalie, the red-cheeked, soft-spoken daughter of Mom's college best friend. For years, their mothers had joked about knitting two families together. Apparently, the joke had grown legs. Both Victor and Natalie rolled, their eyes behind polite smiles. But after a couple of accidental on-purpose coffee dates, they realized there was real chemistry under all that parental plotting. They took it slow, stayed in separate dorms until graduation, FaceTimed through internships, and finally, senior spring, Victor asked if she'd split rent on a starter apartment instead of paying 2 leases and half a dozen Uber fares. She said, yes, before he'd finished the question. The moment boxes hit the new living room floor, their parents fired up the grandkid campaign. Victor and Natalie swatted those comments away like summertime gnats. They weren't anti-kids, just pro-passport stamps. First came a budget honeymoon to Aruba, followed by weekend hops to Austin, Portland, Montreal. Victor's sales analyst salary covered most of it, and an Etsy side hustle kept Natalie in spending money. Then the parent-approved wedding rolled around, equal parts charming and exhausting. The island honeymoon was pure magic. Coming home was a brick wall. Victor's position vanished in a department restructure. Suddenly, his neat resume didn't look so neat to hiring managers who wanted 10 years' experience in twice as many softwares. He accepted the one offer that landed, third-shift quality inspector at a plastics plant. Honest pay, sure, but honest didn't cover craft beer flights or new stamps in the passport. Natalie took a receptionist job to plug budget holes. From the outside, everything looked fine. From the inside, tiny cracks appeared. Arguments showed up first as snark, then full-volume shouting matches. I'm tired of living on clearance aisles, she snapped one night, slamming an empty Amazon cart closed. It's temporary, Nat. Couple years tops, he replied. Palms up. Temporary feels a lot like forever. Look at Marina. Tim gives her anything she points at. Girl walks around like a queen. Me? I'm clipping coupons. Then maybe you should have married. Tim? He fired back before he could choke the words. Victor hated himself the second they left his mouth. Natalie stormed into their bedroom. The door clap rattled the hallway picture frames. She'd never cared about money when they met. Was this her, or did the grind sharpen edges they'd never noticed? At the plant, he vented to Carlos, a forklift operator who measured life in lessons learned the hard way. Carlos listened, chewed on his lower lip, then told a story about his first wife. She'd hammered him about money until one day he came home to a half-empty closet. She'd upgraded to a slick-haired realtor with a Beamer, Carlos concluded. If someone threatens to leave over green paper, they'll step on your throat for a gold card. The story spooked Victor. That night, instead of Netflix, he Googled gig listings. The plastics plant allowed 2 extra shifts per week if you wanted them. He signed up. Natalie's reaction landed like lukewarm applause. Great, she said. Though, her tone made the word feel like about time. One Friday, he shuffled in from an overnight run, dog-tired and reeking of injection mold resin. Natalie stood at the mirror, adjusting eyeliner. Going somewhere? He asked, half teasing. Meeting a friend, she said, phone already in hand. Which friend? He heard the edge in his own voice and hated it. Why the interrogation, Vic? Because I feel like I need to pry answers out of you with pliers lately. She smeared lip gloss, shook her head, and left him talking to his shadow. The door clicked. He stared at it for a full minute before trudging to the shower. Tension buzzed around them like a fluorescent light about to blow. Then came Tuesday afternoon. Marina. Yes, Queen Bee. Marina walked onto the factory floor in heels that did not belong near heavy machinery. Eyes red, mascara streaked. Victor froze, convinced Natalie was in a hospital bed. Instead, Marina whispered, A sentence that ended his lunch break and, for a second, his heartbeat. Tim told me this morning he's been sleeping with Natalie. Victor barked a laugh because that was easier than passing out. Then he asked the dumb question everyone asks when they already know the answer. You sure? Marina glared through fresh tears. He apologized, promised they'd talk after his shift, pointed her toward a cafe down the block. For the next 4 hours, he miscounted boxes and nearly stapled himself to a clipboard. Memory reels unspooled. Natalie gushing about Tim's promotion, Tim giving her a ride home since he's heading that way. Natalie's new perfume that matched the brand Tim always gifted Marina. Each frame clicked into place. By quitting time, he was vibrating. He found Marina nursing cold coffee, eyes swollen, but steadier. They traded stories until the shape of the affair became unmistakable. Late-night work calls, sneaky gym dates, weekend errands that lined up too perfectly. Irony tasted bitter. They understood each other better in 2 hours than with their own spouses in months. Marina admitted she was kicking Tim out that night. Victor rehearsed speeches for Natalie all the way home, each harsher than the last. He unlocked the apartment, ready to deliver verdict, and walked into an R-rated punchline. The hallway mirror framed the scene. Tim leaning against their couch, pants pooled at his ankles, Natalie on her knees. Engaged in an activity she'd once told Victor was off-limits. They didn't hear the door. Tim opened his eyes mid-groan and locked onto Victor's reflection. Panic widened his pupils. Natalie turned, confusion to horror in half a heartbeat. For a single cartoonish second, silence reigned. Then Tim dove for a throw blanket, the one Victor's mom crocheted. Seeing that blanket pressed against the guy's crotch, flipped a switch. Victor tackled Tim into the side table. Lamplight exploded. Natalie screamed, grabbed the closest object, a hardcover cookbook, and whacked Victor across the shoulder. Tim wriggled free, one eye already swelling from Victor's fist, and bolted wearing nothing but the crochet. The front door slammed. Sirens wailed in Victor's temples. Natalie panted, clutching the cookbook like a shield. "You've lost your mind," she shouted. "And you lost your dignity," he shot back. The argument that followed scorched whatever remained of their marriage. By midnight, she'd confessed, half sobbing, half throwing blame. Tim made her feel alive. Tim helped her see what she deserved. Victor nearly laughed at the cliches. When the adrenaline drained, he felt only relief they'd never bought property, never raised babies under this roof. Divorce papers were filed, faster than takeout could arrive. Natalie's mother called Victor, begging him to reconsider. He laughed bitterly into the phone and hung up. A month later, Marina rang with champagne in her voice, kicked Tim out. Finally free. "You busy?" Turned out freedom pairs nicely with shared war stories. Dinners morphed into late-night walks, walks into weekend road trips. What started as comfort grew into something sturdier, the kind of bond forged by mutual wreckage. Natalie shacked up. With Tim, the first months looked Instagram perfect. Then Tim's mask cracked. Money that once flowed tightened to a drip. Jealous rants replaced silk sheets. By winter, he controlled every dime and tracked her phone. Natalie tried texting Victor once, a rambling apology that hinted at regret. He deleted it unread. Sometimes, friends ask if he pities her. He shrugs. Choices come with invoices. She stamped hers, pay on delivery. Victor's life, meanwhile, found new rhythm. Double shifts phased out as he slid into an industrial safety supervisor role. Savings grew. He and Marina still laugh at the cosmic joke that their ex's cheating introduced them. The punchline never gets old. So that's the whole messy, twisty story. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in Victor's boots? Smash the like button if you think karma handled the heavy lifting. And don't forget to subscribe to Epic Cheating Tales for more real-life plots that prove truth really is stranger than fiction. Thanks for listening. And remember, guard your heart, trust your gut, and keep the crochet blankets far, far away from undeserving hands.